Hey guys, it's Jake. Uh, Sorry that I haven't had a video up in a really long time, guys. I've been pretty busy over the summer, have some AP work that I've got to do, and a lot of stuff hanging out with family, dealing with stuff with the family. I've been a little bit busy, and I'm sorry that I haven't made any videos. So, anyways, on to today's video topic, violence in video games. Now, there's this kind of really strange idea that that violence in video games kind of makes people more violent, and it's causing a lot of people to become even, really angry and really violent, and that's just not true. Statistics have shown that as computer games and console games and video games in general have become more popular, crime has gone down, violent crime has gone down. And it's not because of games necessarily, not really, but games are not causing people to become more violent and commit more crimes. That's just a ridiculous idea. And when people want to point to violent games that are clearly corrupting the minds of our children, they point to Call of Duty and games like that, war games that are meant to be as realistic combat as possible. And even though taking thousands of bullets, but then your health just regenerates magically is realistic. But there's this idea that breeds violence in real life, and it doesn't. That's a bullshit idea. There's no evidence to go along with it. It's all just this overprotective parental idea that video games are too violent. They're causing kids to become violent. Which, I guess if I was a parent and I didn't know anything about video games, I might think that. But on the other hand, that's just not what the evidence shows. And, come on. Have you ever seen somebody get so pissed off at a video game they just grabbed a gun after seeing somebody get shot in the game and then go out and shoot people? I don't really think that's happening, and I think that's ridiculous to think so. And sure, you're going to get people that rage quit. They're just like, oh, fuck this, and start screaming at their TV and throwing the game. But that's, come on. People are going to rage. And as soon as like 5 minutes later, after they realize, oh well, it's just a game. After they've calmed down a little bit, they realize, oh well, this doesn't matter, and then they just go do something else, or they play a different game, or perform some other activity, whatever. It's just a video game. It's not reality, and I guess except for like really really little kids. Maybe they might think, oh, I can go out and shoot somebody, and then they could just respawn if the kid was like really, really little. But that's up to the parents to make sure that their kid doesn't, think that. It's up to the parents to say, look, you can't shoot somebody, and they'll just be okay. You can't do that. You can't let your kid think that. And that's not really a fault of the game, it's a fault of the parents not educating their kids. Because I know that what happens in video games is fiction. I know that a lot of gamers know that it's fiction. And that's probably because most gamers are not little kids, even though a lot of people bitch and complain that little kids are talking on the mics. Which does seem to happen a lot, but it's not true. And because statistics show that it's actually people anywhere from my age of 16 to people like 50 years old that are playing video games and that have played video games forever. And it's not like video games are actually corrupting people. They're just not. And there's also this idea that video games aren't a certain form of art expression. And whenever people want to say that it's not art, video games just can't be art because that's not what they are. They're just not ever, period. They point to games like Call of Duty and they say, "Oh, look, it's all just shooting, and there's no art here. It's all just bullshit and military and armies and fighting. There's no art here." And yeah, that's true. For Call of Duty, there's no art. There's nothing that's incredibly artsy and beautiful about the game. It's a war game, but that's what a lot of war games are like. If you look at a particular genre, yes, it's not going to be artsy, but it's like saying Transformers is clearly not an artsy movie because it's not. It's not intended to be. With Transformers, we all know, with Michael Bay directing a movie, it's going to be explosions and action. Not very artsy, not very deep. And then somebody saying clearly movies can't have any art in them because Transformers. That's the same as saying that video games can't be art because of Call of Duty. There's plenty of very deep games that aren't intended to be full-on action. Violence in video games is bullshit, and they are art. Well, violence in video games isn't bullshit, but causing kids to be more violent is bullshit. And, alright guys, thanks for watching. Sorry this video probably isn't quite as good, but hey, at least it's something. Thanks guys. Have a good one.